Good morning, traders. Manny Cabrera from MDC Trading Academy with today's pre-market forecast for Friday, July the 19th. News items for today we have at 10 a.m. the prelim UOM consumer sentiment. After that, there is nothing that we have to be thinking about in reference to any type of news. Now, remember, we like to stay out of these types of news at least 5 minutes before the news comes out. All right, so that's pretty much a given. Let's look at our analysis. Let's start with our daily chart today. Market retracing off the all-time highs, not a surprise. Market comes to rest on the 20 SMA, not a surprise. What's really a good surprise is that although we have an incrementation of volume to the downside, and I mean slight, just look at your down bars and look at your volume, comparative volume. But yesterday we had a nice high volume day and it closed to the upside. That just goes to show you the strength continues to the upside. We had a small little sell-off the tops, nothing significant, but market is finding support at this level and is attempting to move higher. So that's kind of like what we're looking at again. It's kind of like the same thing. We run, we retrace, just always find support. Here we run. Here we retrace, we found support here where it used to be before at the 20 SMA. Market runs, find support. We found support at a previous high, and now we run and we find support at the 20 SMA and attempting once again to head towards a few higher levels. Obviously, if we move a little lower, here are our projected levels. Now, speaking of projected levels, let's look at our other chart here, which helps us to see what we're talking about. As you see, all of these price levels were previously prognosticated. Market is obviously including the 20 SMA low. You can see the market headed right like a beeline to it. The important thing about this, guys, is why do we do these exercises? Why do we project price areas into the future? We don't want any surprises. We don't want to ever wonder, why is the price level here? Why is the price moving here? Why did it run up there? Why did it come down here? We always want to know and anticipate these types of moves. That way we can have a plan around them. And that's really important. Remember, 90% of the game is anticipating. Okay, 90% of this game is anticipating. The other 10 is just adapting. So those are our projected areas. Obviously, the all-time high is way up here somewhere, 30, 23, I believe. Let's look at our analysis chart. Where are we here? We are kind of mixed price right now. We're below. We broke above the intraday high of yesterday, which is this line here. This is the intraday high of yesterday. Market retraces late in the afternoon, and then in the pre-market runs clean through it, retraces through it, finds support, breaks up again, then it starts to lose a little strength. But ultimately, it's bouncing on this trend line here. Now we have a little bit of a slight compression, not completely yet, but that's where we find ourselves. It's more something like this. There's our resistance area up there. And of course, we have some support at this level here. So that's kind of like the way I'm looking at it right now. So basically what you have is a market run, finds resistance, now finds support, and now we're sort of oscillating between these two areas. So that's where we are right now. We can look at it more clearly on our trade chart here, and as you can see, there it is. Market above intraday high, came below it, now it's dancing between there. We find a little support here between these two areas here, support and resistance, and a slight support here on this trend line. So that's what we have here right now. Let's see what else do I see here. Yeah, that's about right. This is all we have at this point. For me, the way that market has been trading, the way that the market has been moving, the exception was yesterday with a really low volume, moving very slow. To me, the wisest thing is to wait for the breakouts. It's just simply to wait for the breakouts and give yourself a time limit. Otherwise, what's going to happen is your emotional capital is going to start waning, and the complexity of the market is going to start increasing. So have a great weekend, and let me know if you have any questions. Ciao.